Tell you what, it feels like it's 75 degrees out here right now because of how cold it has been the last 3 days. Am I hearing and seeing this right? Was there 9 or 10 inches of snow in Pensacola, Florida? Were there 10 inches of snow in New Orleans? Like, is this real life? Did this really happen? If you're from that area, I want to hear about it. So let me know. That's an intense amount of snow. Is it the most snow that the city of New Orleans has ever had? That's so crazy. It's been like -5 degrees here the last 3 days. And of course, all of the schools have been closed. So I've been stuck with the kids. And now that I have 2 free hands, we can go up and do a little bit of thrifting and just kind of knock the dust off of it a little bit, since it's just been hard to get kind of to and from. But if it is snowing like that all across America, that's bananas. And I hope everybody is safe in those areas that aren't used to getting that amount of snow here. It is what it is. It's been low snow cover, but very, very cold temperatures. So now that we're thawed off a little bit, let's go shopping. And that's probably all I'm going to have time to do at this point. So let's get moving. All right, first pickup of the day, a mug. There's no price on it, so I think this will only cost me 99 cents. The brand is Ginger Fox. It's a fowl, F-O-W-L language mug. Very cute. This was once sold at Barnes & Noble, although it's long sold out. Some other websites were offering it, and some still have some in stock, some don't. It's kind of irrelevant because there are still very good solds on eBay for this mug. So let's just list it between $15 and $20 and call it a day. Look, if you sell five mugs for 20 bucks, it's $100. You only pay 99 cents for each one of those mugs. You only spent $5 to make 100. You are doing really well. So I'll grab that. I'll take it. I've said this before. I am not afraid to list lower value or lower dollar items because the solds behind what I saw on eBay say that it's going to sell, and it'll sell in a decent amount of time. Again, between 15 and 20. Be great if I got a full price buyer, but if I sell it for 15, I'm not going to be upset. So let's just keep picking up mugs because I seem to have success even at a smaller dollar amount level than some of the higher dollar amount things. My average sales price, even for the last couple of years now, has been hovering around $50 to $55, so it's still working out. I don't see anything else here. I'm digging. I'm really going deep. The stores, I don't know what's going on in the area. Everybody is just slow, and it's sort of unfortunate because you alienate a lot of your morning resellers, like a lot of your morning repeat customers, by moving so slow. And you know what? There's a lot of variables that go into maybe why that is, but I'm digging really deep because I've seen a lot of this stuff so much. So I'm also going to pick this item up here, Oggi, O-G-G-I. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I'm not going to bother looking it up at this point. This is obviously like a condiment holder. There was a sold that was around $30 to $35, but when I was looking for the screenshots for you guys, I couldn't find it. You're just going to have to take my word for it. The square containers were white. It was still stainless steel, but the square containers were white. The ones that I was holding right there are black. I have it listed for $35. I think that's very fair. It's really heavy and sturdy and well made. So I don't know much about the OGGI brand, other than maybe I've sold 1 or 2 items that I've picked up in the past from just various thrift stores. But I can't really give you any info on the brand, if it's solid or not. But even just that one sold convinced me enough. And the fact that it was so, I guess, contemporary looking and well built and well made, I'm sure there's going to be a buyer for it. So that sounds more emotional than it is logic. But I only just having that one sold was enough like data for me to make a buying decision on it. And the fact that it's just, I'm not finding as much as I used to. So let's take it. What was it? $6? $6. If I get 35 for it, that'd be a great sale. I don't see anything else here in this random area that makes sense. So we're going to move on from there. I really like this leather clutch. Our riveter, I'm 100% convinced that it's Rosie riveter. The figure, if you will, of women, more or less, that had to go to work during World War II in the factories and fill those factory positions. Most of the men were off to war. It was a total war. So they went in, and a lot of them were moms, right? So they had to kind of carpool their resources for childcare and all that stuff. And that's sort of where the Rosie the Riveter thing was born. That brand is a pretty good brand. I think it's a military family brand. I don't know if it's veteran owned, but those are kind of along the lines of what that sounds like. And that clutch, I think I'm gonna get. I have it listed for $40. I think 40 is fair. On their website, they are $100 MSRP, but looks like good quality leather, and it was clean. So I'm gonna grab that. It's the first time I've ever sourced it. If you're unfamiliar with it, definitely look up our Riveter when you see it in the stores, because that might be another one of those under the radar brands a lot of people aren't familiar with. And there was another bag from that brand during this trip, but it was in really poor condition, at least in my opinion. So I left it behind. I'm going to take the clutch, and I don't really see anything else here. None of these logos look familiar. That was Liz Claiborne, so that's not going to work. And some of these were a little bit more generic. Maybe I should look that up. What does that say? Luella Gray? I don't know. It didn't feel good quality, so I left it. And there was nothing up on the top cart that looked like that was going to work. We are in January, so people still trying to get fit, myself included. And QB, I've sold a few of these before. Great price at $5. This is the original model, so it's F3A1. There are F3A2 models out now where the digital display is a little bit higher on the machine. This one is just sort of basic. You do have to charge it. I took it home, charged it, it works fine. And then a bunch of different settings for this like under desk elliptical. It's going to fit in a 24 by 16 by 16 box that I know either Lowe's or Walmart carries. It's about, 30 pounds. So it's a little bit heavier. It might not be for everybody. And then because it's the earlier version model, I think maybe $50, where if it was one of the more updated models, it still works the same. It still works fine. It's just not as up to date looking. Some of the other ones have colors, turquoise, red. This one was kind of just basic, but it still works the same. So let's just say $50, and it'll cost maybe about 20 or so for the buyer to have it shipped. But I think the more updated versions you can probably get $60, $70, $80 pre-owned for them. So if you're not afraid to pick up a heavy item, grab those because they sell now. And so we're still in a good month, even though I think the under desk elliptical idea is one that would sell year round. But I'm trying to capitalize on the fact that people are still on the wagon, so to speak, when it comes to New Year's resolutions or trying to get themselves into shape. Speaking of, I need to put some ice on both of my shoulders. I feel like my shoulders are strained a little bit. Like with my strength increasing, my shoulders are so broad. I'm getting off topic here, but I don't work my shoulders out as much, and I always think that my form is really good, but maybe not. I gotta throw some ice on it because they're feeling a little bit tender on each side. But that's neither here nor there. We're still in sporting goods, and I don't see anything else here I can use or that I'm going to be looking up. I did find a good old helmet in here maybe a couple of months ago that sold for like $100, $200, something like that. But nothing there. Now, here's another brand that's new to me, Caraway. If you're not familiar with it, put it on your radar. This is a really nice sage green color pot. It came with the lid. They have it priced at $14. I've already sold this for $65. So you could say it's a 4.5 quart. You could say I had it underpriced, but really, I think I had it fairly priced. I think I had it priced correctly for pre-owned. I cleaned it up a little bit. It photographed great, and it's already out the door. So if you aren't familiar with Caraway, make sure you take a look at it. This is one of the things that if you saw it sitting on the shelf, I mean, you would grab it and look it up immediately because it stands out. It doesn't look like the other, like Cuisinarts of the world and all this Food Network, whatever it is we're looking at here. So I was fortunate to grab that, and I don't mind paying $14 for it because it did sell really quickly, I think within 24 or 48 hours. So it is shipped and it is out, and that buyer's going to be happy. Nice piece. So what else do we have here? That thing, somebody dropped that long on the floor. That's not going to work. And the same old mix of baking pans, and I feel like I should have gone through that basket. It's one of those things where there's probably like a $20 bill in there, a couple $20 bills, but I tend to get lazy. I don't see anything else here. Every now and then there's a good silverware set that will come through, and it'll just be sitting there that's worth grabbing. I just don't recognize anything here that
looks useful. Got a masher at home, don't need that. All right, we're moving on. Do not sleep on the New Balance like dad shoe, the New Balance grandma shoe, the walking shoe. This is a 608, but it is an extra wide, the 4E. So I have a couple of things going for me. Size 12, great size. 4E extra wide, great width. Excellent soles. I wiped them down so when they photograph, the shoes look almost brand new. So I have it listed at $35, very fair price. It's just a matter of time before they sell. And I'm looking at in my basement on my wall where I store a lot of my shoes, and I am not filling them back up. And I can tell you in the stores that I am shopping at, there's a lot less footwear than there normally is. I don't know if they have transitioned to putting some of their shoes on Shop Goodwill. I think that would be a terrible idea if they did that, for a number of reasons, both personally, but for from the standpoint of business for them. It's already a pain in the drain. Does anybody here listening to me shop on Shop Goodwill? I've heard nothing but horror stories about their shipping and their return policy. If anybody can verify that, let me know in the comments, because I don't shop on Shop Goodwill, but I don't know what the reason for the lack of shoes is right now, because I don't remember last January it being that slow. So maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not getting out enough, but yeah, I'm not seeing a ton of shoes. Last thing I think I'm going to pick up here is the Simplehuman mirror. This thing is a sensor mirror, so everything is operated sort of digitally by touch. There's no like switch outside of the power cord that you saw, or the power button that you saw on the bottom. Assuming this works, I think I can sell it for $50, $60. They are offered on Simplehuman's website right now, brand new, for $200, and you can get a variation of colors. Like I said, this has the brass finish to it, but I haven't tested it yet, so let's assume that it works and I can sell it for $50. Keeps me right around what my average sales price is, and a very unassuming mirror. There was one I found in this store before that was one of the like trifolds, whatever, it's got 3 mirrors on it. I sold that one, was much larger, for I think around $200 pre-owned, $250, something like that. So do not sleep on the Simplehuman brand. I know they've got like the automated trash cans and things like that. I don't know what else they sell, but I seem to have success with the mirror, so I'm going to keep looking them up.
All right, we're back home. We're gonna eat, and then we're gonna call it a day. Share with you what we are putting together here. Let me turn my camera around. Going with some fryer thighs. Just came out of the oven. 22 minutes. They'll have a little fat on them, but I think I can get away with that. So lots of flavor in those, lightly seasoned. I'm gonna stick with the standard white rice. And then my mother brought me some lemon pepper vegetable medley. Now normally, I don't like food in a bag and I don't like food in a box, but this was free and it came from my lovely mother. Shout out to you, Mom, love you. So we're gonna do this to honor her, even though it doesn't look, let me use this plate. It doesn't look terribly appetizing, Mom, but I get it. I'm not gonna mess with this right now. Anyway, you guys get it. So the thighs, rice, vegetable medley, and then we are not working out today because we gotta give these shoulders a rest. That Rosie the Riveter brand got me feeling a little bit patriotic. And so I want to leave you with this. It's not reselling related, but there's a large group of people right now, and you might be one of them, who feels as though you're in a little bit of a panic regarding what might happen in the next 4 years. And to you, I would say this, and I don't care if you're red, I don't care if you're blue, I don't care if you voted for Kamala, I don't care if you voted for Trump, I don't care if you voted for Ronald McDonald. There is nothing more powerful and nothing stronger than the will of the American people when we decide it is time to act. And that's never going to change. That's you and that's I. So inevitably, in the next 4 years, some things are going to break and we're going to have to fix them. But the flip side to that is some things are going to get better, and that's just going to be the law of averages. So always remember that this is a government for the people, a government of the people and for the people, okay? So if you believe in your brothers and sisters, like I believe, everything is going to work out in the long run. That doesn't mean become docile. You have to stay semi-involved, semi-up to date, but don't let some of the rhetoric and some of the nonsense talk that you hear ruin your day, ruin the next 4 years. Things will get better, and you just got to believe that people like you and I have a finger on the pulse of what's going on, and we have the ability to make and force change if we need to and when we need to. So I'm just here to say everything is going to be okay in the end. Do not panic. You are an American. We got this. All right. I'll see you.